welcome this forward. The very first idea is more like a joke, but I was thinking if we want to extend the population, which is really declining in the developed world, particularly, we should consider that we are making cars that are mostly for 4 or 5 people. I mean, you have minivans and all this stuff, but I think if we start produce bigger cars, for example, with 6 doors, here we can put 8 people, 2 times 3 in the back and 2 in the front. Or maybe even bigger extension is that we make cars with double decks and we can put 3 times 3, 11 people in the car. So maybe this is how they will decide for bigger families. It's a first step. Now this is more like a joke, but we will continue with other stuff. And our next thing is debt. Particularly debt to GDP ratio is important. And USA has the biggest GDP and also the biggest debt in the world in number, but not the biggest ratio of GDP to debt. However, this ratio is 130%, which is quite a lot, but all countries have positive debt. We are all actually in debt, but it's varied. And first I would like to calculate if $35 trillion is debt. We write this 35 trillion and it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And this is 35 times 10 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4 times 3 is 12. And $1 bill or euro bill is approximately 0.1 millimeter thick. That means that if we have $10 or euros, it will be 1 millimeter. And to be 1 kilometer, we need 10 to the power of 6 of them. And the biggest value is 100, so times 100, this means 10 to the power of 9. And if we divide this, we divide this and we get 35,000 kilometers. That is approximately, I would say, 20,000 miles. So this is how much money it is. And if we calculate the circumference of the Earth, I mean, where around the equator or where it's the biggest, of course, and radius is 6,400 kilometers, so circumference is 2 pi r, which is 40,000 kilometers. And that means that $35 trillion in banknotes for 100 densely packed together would almost circumference the Earth. So that you can imagine how much money it is. And yes, your government find that this is not good, that debt is too high, and that's why they're making reforms. And you need to understand, I think Elon has enough money, he doesn't need more. And he's not materials, you can see where he lives and all the things. He's really not that kind. He just wants science and progress and he wants to make things done. And that's why this reformation, or how to call it's happening. But it's very aggressive. Maybe, as Mr. Gates said, it could be that you will reduce 10%, and from 7 trillion that would be 700 billion. It's still a lot. But however, you decided to close all those agencies. And it's also good that you have, you get unemployed people, that you find employment for them, that you plan your economy. And also for fentanyl, what will happen if there will be less fentanyl, the price will rise. And so you need to have a program where to put all those addicts and and how to heal them with other medications. These are my thoughts. And finally, what I want to talk about is the dynamic population, and I found interesting facts, and I was calculating, so in the third part we will do this. Just one more thing. I think the average depth from countries looks like this, a Gaussian curve, and I didn't find the data where is the average, but I think 130% is above the average, so I think this part is bad and this part is good. So in no country, I think one country has 0, but no one has, they don't go in negative here. So that's for it. And now we start with the population dynamics. I don't like to be a teacher. At least I get something to talk about. So, population dynamics. And we will assume that one generation is about 30 years. That means that the average age to have children for either men or women is about 30 years. And we know that in underdeveloped countries that is even less, and in developed maybe even more. So, and then we have a birth rate. We will say birth, and we will say the birth rate is 0.8 children per person. That means that each family has 1.6 children in average, and that is the data for Europe and America, and China is even lower. So developed countries are really, and we want to know how fast is this happening. And it's really easy formula. We want to know in which time the population will be half of the current number. That means that if you say population is P times B to the power of N, and N is the number of generations, is equal to P divided by 2. And P cancels out, so it's really easy formula, and if you calculate it, we're going to use natural logarithm. We simply get that number of generations is natural logarithm of 0.5 divided natural logarithm 0.8 for this data. And to get the time, you just need to take a product of N and G, and you will get that in 93 years, if they all survive and so on, it's a little simplified, so approximately 93 years will last that there will be only half the population. And it doesn't matter how much population is, because P cancels out. So that means that either if you have 1 million people or 100 million, the time will be the same. So it's pretty fast. And now, let's make it for what if the population doubles. And we have B is, by the way, in my time when I was born, the population was 4 billion people, and now it is 8 billion. So it went pretty quickly to one more. So if it's 1.5, that means 3 children per family. Then you take a different formula, is b to the power of n is the same as 2, because we have 2p and so on. And the same it follows, n is natural logarithm of 2 divided by natural logarithm of 1.5, and you use the same formula, t is mg, and you will get that time is, I forgot, 51 years. So pretty quickly. In 51 years, the population can double. And then I took also extreme case, and some countries have this case, but they don't survive so much, so maybe it's lower. So if we take B is 3, that means 6 children on average per family, this time would be only 19 years. But, or even faster because they choose to have children earlier. So in just 20 years, let's say, the population can double if they have 6 children on average. So I think in the future we will need to try to do something about the population, that it won't get too high because it will be a burden for environment. As we see already now, the forests are shrinking, the animals are going extinct, and that kind of things are happening, climate change. So I think it's nothing wrong if we will go down a little bit, maybe half of the people. And also in developed world, it's not that a problem. It's more problem in underdeveloped world where they have many children. So it's good if we would send them those pills, contraceptive pills, if they want to take them, and I'm sure they won't. So this is for today. I had my time, and I thank you for your attention, ladies and gentlemen. Have a nice day, and I hope, some things that you do, I think are really good, it's really nice, but with some things I cannot agree. Maybe this, let me clear this. It's just one thing that bothers me a lot. Is this, that one thing is Mars, and the other thing is climate change. And I'll say Mars, no, climate change, yes. Because we need to go in the future, like for example China is doing, and I think it benefits them that they develop so many renewable sources of energy, and that we don't go to the best. Things are changing all the time, and technology goes on, and I think it will be good for us if we could solve this problem. Now it's really the end. Thanks. Here are many interesting books for our youngest, and how they are taking care for their room, and some classic Peter Pan, and this one caught my attention. The future, everything is changing. And here are the questions. Will we live on Mars? Telephone without mobile phone, with in Neuralink and robots, but I can't open it sadly, so I'll try to find it on the internet.